Chapter 9. A different location. Allison crawled through piles of scattered wood and rusted metal in a cramped, basement-like storage room. Her breath came in short, ragged gasps and her heart pounded wildly. Her entire body trembled, not just from the biting cold, but from the overwhelming fear gripping her mind. After escaping from the rabbit mascot, she had continued to squeeze through narrow passageways between the walls, and now she found herself in a dark space, the air thick with the scent of neglect, like no human had set foot here in years. "Calm down, Allison. Just calm down," she whispered to herself, though her voice shook. But the words did little to steady her nerves. She knew someone, or something, was after her. Then she heard it. A faint sound in the distance. The metallic scrape of chains dragging along the floor, echoing through the corridor. She froze and clutched the small crowbar she had found earlier. Her hands trembled around the cold metal, but it was the only weapon she had. Her eyes darted around, searching for an exit or at least a place to hide, but all she saw were looming shadows and piles of abandoned junk. Footsteps. Heavy. Deliberate. Allison stiffened. The sound was unmistakable. Someone wearing large, heavy boots was approaching. She wasn't strong. She wasn't brave. Fighting wasn't an option. Without wasting another second, she ducked behind a stack of wooden crates, pressing herself as low as possible, willing her breath to steady. But her body betrayed her, trembling so violently she feared she'd give herself away. Then it appeared. A massive wolf mascot stepped into the doorway. It was the same one she had seen before, the one with the chainsaw. Its oversized, gray-furred head loomed in the dim light, its sinister fake teeth permanently frozen in a disturbing grin. It was taller than any normal person, its muscular arms wrapped in fabric resembling fur, gripping a thick iron chain. At the end of that chain was a spiked metal ball, large enough to crush bone. The wolf paused, tilting its head unnaturally as if listening. Allison pressed a trembling hand over her mouth, desperate to stay silent. But then the wolf sniffed the air. Like a hunting dog. "I know you're here," the wolf growled, its voice deep and guttural. "I can smell your fear." Allison bit her lip, fighting the panic rising in her chest. She had to move, but if she got up now, she'd be exposed. She frantically searched for another way out. Then she saw it. Another door, partially hidden behind a stack of large boxes. She inhaled sharply, bracing herself to run. But before she could even shift her weight, the wolf suddenly slammed its chain against the floor, sending a deafening crash through the room. She nearly screamed. "There's no point in hiding, little girl," the wolf said, stepping further inside. "I enjoy this game, but I also love ending it." She had no choice. She had to run. With all the speed she could muster, she shot out from her hiding spot and sprinted toward the door on the far side of the room. "There you are," the wolf cried, almost gleeful, like a child who had just found their favorite toy. The iron chain swung through the air. The spiked ball smashed into the wall beside her, sending splinters flying. Allison ran faster, shoving aside boxes in her path. She slammed her shoulder against the door, bursting into another corridor, this one even darker and narrower. But she didn't stop. She couldn't stop. "Run, little girl," the wolf taunted from behind, its voice echoing in the hallway. Heavy footsteps pounded after her, and the constant scraping of the dragging chain made her skin crawl. The corridor led her into a larger space, a room lined with cracked mirrors. The dim yellow lighting above flickered, casting twisted reflections across the shattered glass, making the entire room feel like a surreal nightmare. Allison hesitated, searching desperately for another way out. But then she saw it. The wolf's reflection. Not just one but many. Its distorted form appeared in several mirrors, making it impossible to tell exactly where it was. "These mirrors are my favorite," the wolf mused, its voice slithering through the room. "You get to see your own face when I kill you." Allison spun around, trying to track the real wolf, but it moved too fast. Then, from an unexpected angle, it attacked. The chain whipped through the air. The spiked ball barely missed her, but it shattered a mirror beside her, sending shards of glass raining down. She hit the floor hard, her crowbar slipping from her grasp. The wolf loomed over her. "That's it," it sneered, raising its chain again. How disappointing. But Allison wasn't done. Her fingers brushed against a large shard of broken mirror, and without hesitating, she grabbed it and drove it straight into the wolf's leg. The beast howled in agony. Blood oozed from the deep gash. Seizing the moment, Allison scrambled away, snatching up her crowbar once more. Summoning every ounce of strength she had left, she swung it at the wolf's knee. The impact forced it down onto one leg. Allison staggered to her feet, barely holding herself upright. She saw another door at the far end of the room, but the wolf was already rising again despite its injury. "You're stubborn," it growled, its voice laced with rage. "I like that." It swung its chain again, this time faster. Allison tried to dodge, but she wasn't fast enough. The spiked ball slammed into her arm, sending her crashing to the floor. Pain exploded through her body, but she refused to give up. Gasping, she forced herself up and ran toward the last remaining intact mirror. The wolf, relentless, charged after her. Then, just before it reached her, she spun around and smashed the crowbar against the mirror with all her strength. Glass exploded in every direction. The wolf barely flinched, its glowing eyes locked onto her, its breath a low, snarling growl. Allison didn't wait to see what happened next. She turned and bolted into the darkness beyond. Her arm throbbed. Her legs burned. But she didn't stop. She didn't know where she was going. She only knew one thing. She stopped, she was dead.